But I was also wondering, like, how that ties into the different various codes from county to county, city to city. Like, do you take codes into consideration when you're doing inspections?
What is going on, guys? It's Chris Work here, ProfitDig.com. I'm joined this evening by Wally Rankin of Trout Creek Home Inspections, serving all of the Middle Tennessee area. His contact information can be found below in the description. And Jeff Givens, our Chief Technical Officer here at ProfitDig.com. How we doing, fellas?
Doing well.
Lovely.
Awesome. Love to hear it. What's going on?
Well, I was thinking, one of the...
Hey, let's just get right to it.
Right into it.
It's like,
here's what I was thinking.
Question.
All right. My legs shaking over here. Oh, you can see on the video. I'm over here like...
All right.
We was talking about different licenses and different regulations that you had to adhere to. But I was also wondering, like, how that ties into the different various codes from county to county, city to city. Like, do you take codes into consideration when you're doing inspections?
Yes and no.
Great question.
So
That's not vague at all.
Yeah, no. So let me explain. So home inspectors are not. We don't inspect to code. We inspect to home inspection standard. So most home inspectors are usually regulated by a national agency. So I'm an INTRNACHI inspector. There's either ASHI, which is American Society of Home Inspectors, and I'm the INTRNACHI, which is International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. And they have standardization that home inspectors go by. The reason why we don't go to code is because we're in so many different jurisdictions, and there's no way to keep up with code in every jurisdiction that we inspect in.
Makes sense.
Now, if you get into a situation where it's something that's National Electric Code, I'll quote National Electric Code and go, here's the standard in National Electric Code, you're not up to it, or National Gas Code. If I see things that are a violation of those, I'll quote the direct code from those. And
are those the only two real code books, is for gas and electric? Is it similar for...
No, there's
sewer,
other codes, but for the most part, those are sewer, that's all that stuff is under the ground, so I'm not looking at any of that. It's
who cares,
visual
right?
inspection. I like to fill everything up and test the flow of it. If it's not flowing, then we say,
You got a problem.
you got a problem.
Yeah.
So,
Just like the stairs. You don't care the height of the steps or if I fall down and break my neck.
I do,
As long as the
actually.
stairs don't fall down. Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I just took reverse course.
Yeah.
And
No.
you had moved on.
You know what I learned a long time ago, Chris, is when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
I know. I've learned this. I've learned that on the Profit Day Construction Show.
Not well enough.
No, obviously not.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
right,
other than the national regulations,
Yep.
like you probably, I was about to assume, I would assume that there are some things beyond just like that you would go above and beyond just because you want to do a quality
like our
job.
initial certification, or
Yeah.
we're still talking certification stuff. So the state of Tennessee requires us to have 32 hours of continuing education every 2 years.
Okay.
So we're always furthering our education. 32 hours is the minimum to keep your license. You have to renew it every 2 years.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You ever have to like retest?
No.
Like, I don't know. I need to check
No,
that out.
no, because once you pass the national home
Not
inspector
It
Wally.
doesn't
exam-
change rapidly enough to really matter. Okay.
And that's just the national home inspector exam is the exam. Once you get passing grade on that, then you take that to the state with your $300 that they want, and then you get your state license.
Right. Yeah. It's not because they want the money.
No, it's not.
Understood.
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, I have a question, and it's not necessarily related, but as far as like building materials and some like newer homes, have you encountered like any trends where you might recommend a home buyer to refrain from or steer away from?
There's certain builders that will use certain trusses. Some companies, their trusses are a lot worse than other companies.
That's interesting.
I don't know if I need.
Don't name any names.
You don't need to
It's
mention
okay.
anything.
I don't know if I
else,
need to
so-
name
But just-
names on this.
Just
but
maybe ask someone if you know.
Yes,
Or
yes. And there are certain builders. There's a builder in a town around here. They're a national builder where one of my wife's friends from high school had some weird stuff going on with the house and asked if I would come in and inspect it. And I went up in the attic, and I want to say it was 10 to 15 trusses in that attic were cut and damaged, and with no repairs on them whatsoever. So then what happened is they started passing my information around to other neighbors in the neighborhood. And by the time I was done, I did about 30 houses in that neighborhood, and every single one of them had truss damage.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, that's
yeah,
like
and they were
class
by the
action.
time, and that's what it was. The neighbors were all talking about getting a class action lawsuit together by when I left.
Yeah.
So
Now, do you think that's because someone didn't do a good job validating that their crew had the right skills? Or you think they just
100%? Yeah. No, that was a situation where they weren't defective trusses; they were altered. They were cut and
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
okay.
were-
so there was a decision made?
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something that's common where you see literally cutting corners?
Yeah. Yes. Especially.
Which contractors are the worst?
We won't name any names, but if you want to hire a professional who knows some of these names, it's right there on the hat.
Yeah.
You contact Wally Rankin,
Yeah.
Cedar Creek Inspections.
Trout Creek.
Trout Creek.
Trout Creek.
That's all right.
I say Cedar
It's not
Creek.
Cedar.
Said
I get
Cedar Creek.
Cedar.
I don't know.
He inspects houses on Cedar Creek too?
I do. Yeah,
Well,
I'll go
that's-
out there. I'll go out to Cedar Creek. Yeah.
That is Trout Creek Inspections. Wally's contact information can be found in the description of this video.
We'll just beep that out. You just take a burp, Creek Inspections.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, I tell you.
don't need to get vulgar with it.
That's
over
all
there,
right.
Chris.
That's all right. Yeah. But no, there's some good builders and there's some not so good builders, and there's a lot, especially during this COVID rush. I mean, you guys know the insane real estate market that we just went through. Sales are down quite a bit this year compared to what we have been through in the past few years, and they were slapping houses together like, I mean, it was
So
insane.
is that a good indicator? Like if you know that the market was hot and heavy in a certain time frame, maybe you should really take special care. If they were firing out buildings every 2 months or 2 weeks, I don't know what a reasonable time frame is. I guess it depends on the crew.
Yeah.
But
You need a quality
And
inspection.
how far they're back to
yeah,
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
don't know how quick these. Well, you saw how quick these.
yeah.
things
When we
were
lived in
together.
Georgia, the neighborhood we lived in, they were every 2 weeks completing a new house in that neighborhood, and these were big 2-story homes, and they were nice. They had all of the
They appeared to be
bells and
nice.
whistles. And then after talking to those people, of course, we left that neighborhood shortly after they started really coming up, maybe 2 years later. And some of our friends that had purchased those homes that we got to get to know, within 5 years, we're hearing about walls starting to separate.
Doors not shutting or opening.
There's
properly.
definitely some shifting going on.
Yeah.
And I think with any house, there's like a reasonable
There
amount
is.
of
There
settles.
is.
It's
Yeah.
impossible. Yeah.
But you
It's
shouldn't-
seasonal. I
You
mean,
shouldn't
yes,
see
yeah,
humidity levels
massive
change.
gaps in your walls.
No, not at all. I had it explained to me by a structural engineer one time. I had gone into a home and this woman had cracking around her crown molding, and I couldn't explain it. I went, she's like, I just literally had a contractor in here. He just sealed all this. I can't explain. And I went through that house top to bottom, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I went to a structural engineer, and I talked to him. And I said, what's the deal? And he said, every single house needs a year to settle. every single house needs a year to acclimate to the people that are living in it, because every single person lives differently. They keep their thermostat at a different temperature. Some people open windows, some people don't. Some people, heavier set people, put out more humidity into the air than thinner people. Just, there were so many variables that I was just like, my mind was kind of blown. But that's something that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed that in my living room in the wintertime, there will be a gap between the mold and the hardwood.
Yep.
And in the summertime it's
nice and tight.
That's kind of amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I've had to shave off 1/4 inch of a door at the bottom or the top.
Oh, in my kitchen. I've already done that, yeah. When I first bought the place.
Of course, we sand it, put a little paint touch up on it, but
Oh, yeah, you can't tell. And you put the side you cut, you cut the bottom.
Yeah.
Because you don't notice if it's uneven or not. You can have some room to play there. Not to be that far off, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So.
Chris Works, expert home renovation tips. Free of charge right here, baby.
Give me a call today for a fast and free quote. And we'll get your doors sawed down so they open properly.
Yeah.
And
we're really going to miss you over here at ProfitDig,
Well, business is really starting to take off as of this video, oddly enough.
Yeah.
So my phone's blowing up, so we're going to wrap this up. Wally, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure having you this evening. And
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
For the years to come.
How many years you been doing home inspections?
7 years.
7 years. Yeah. So you're an expert. Yeah. So if you're in need of a quality home inspection in the greater Nashville, Middle Tennessee area, contact Trout Creek Inspections. Wally's information can be found in the description of this video. Jeff Givens, pleasure as always. Keep Chief Technical Officering. And
I'll do that. You just turned a noun into a verb.
I did. I know. That's how we
okay.
write. It's the South, man. We do that.
I got you.
Yeah. Check us out, ProfitDig.com. We have a quality, low-cost job bidding and costing solution for contractors. Subscribe to the channel. This is the ProfitDig Construction Show. Like the videos, leave some comments. Let us know what you want to talk about, and we hope to see you again soon. Take care. Uh-oh.